Good afternoon. Today is the 17th of December, and wow, did I have to reach out to Andrew. And thank you, Andrew Sorchini of Beverly Hills Precious Metals, for being here today. Because last night, you and I were texting each other, and it was so fun just to watch what's happening. Literally, the silver was jumping 50 cents, a dollar. It was moving in a matter of, what was it, an hour and a half or so. It moved almost $3. It moved $2.50 up. And this is key. It made another new all-time high. And as we speak, it's over $66, So, Andrew, what are your thoughts and what's happening on your end of the sales side?
It's we're being bombarded by people that are asking us questions like, how does one buy silver? And I love it because it's for a long time we've been dealing with people that do understand how it works, what different types of silver there are. I mean, we have helped educate some people, but we've got people that don't have any idea moving into this space, and I think that's a great thing for them. And it's a great thing for precious metals, especially silver, because it's estimated that really only 1% to 2% of Americans understand the value of gold and silver and what they can do for your portfolio. Other parts of the world do understand a little bit better, like in the Middle East and in Asia, but the people here seem to be waking up, and we've just been so incredibly busy.
I believe 1% to 2% of the population actually understands what precious metals are, relation to gold, silver, and actually how to acquire them. Probably 99, 98% of the people, think about this, don't even have an ounce of silver, have no clue how to get it. So think about the herd mentality that's coming.
Yeah.
This is wild what's about to happen, because we've been doing podcasts for like 3-4 years, and now when we go to places and you go to to events, people are just like, my goodness, thank you, Andrew, thank you both, thank you for pointing us in the right direction, and talking about what's coming, because we've said, the last horse out of the race, out of the gates, we're talking about races, right? Bitcoin number one goes first, silver. Bitcoin goes first, gold goes second, and the last one out of the race, out of the gates, is silver. But when it goes, oh, it's something to watch. And we're watching it right now. And so now we're seeing a lot of people saying, wow, I can't believe, we were buying silver at $20 and $30, and now it's like, it's double. Like it's up like what, 50, almost 100% or more on the year, isn't it right now, Andrew?
Yeah, we started off at like $28.80 an ounce, and
Wow.
that's in January of 2025. So I calculated what that worked out to be percentage wise, and it's 135% gain on the year. This is just blown past most people's estimates. I think the only one whose estimates it hasn't blown past are yours. It's got to be right on par.
It was actually funny because remember in January we were doing videos and all the so-called analysts were saying, hey, gold might hit 3,000 by year end. Remember that stuff, Andrew?
Yeah.
That was in January when gold was like $2,000 or $2,200, whatever it was an ounce. But I flat out remember we were doing podcasts in January and February, and all the mainstream media was shouting, don't be surprised if you see gold at $3,000 by year end. It blew it away by summertime, I believe, wasn't it, or springtime? And now it's like what, $4,300 plus as we're speaking right now. Okay, that's gold. And remember, and this is cool because the new all-time high right now. So 2011, this is important to understand the mathematics of this. Okay, so in 2011, gold went just above $2,000. And as we speak right now, it's at what, 4,300, Andrew? What's the
Yes,
price
it
on
is.
gold right now?
4,330.
Okay, 4,330. But this is the important part. It went through $2,000 roughly 2 years ago. Okay, and it went up and went down and finally started working its way up. And so it basically took, from its all-time high of 2011, it took 2 years to double its value. In other words, it took 2 years. Once it took out 2,000, it dropped back down again and then played around, and it finally started accelerating. And then it took out 3,000, and then it took out 4,000, and now it's at 4,300. But that whole process, this is important, it took 2 years to double in price, just like Andrew was saying on silver. But silver did it in how long? 1 year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So silver is gold on steroids in a bull market, in a precious metals bull market. And the crazy part is, Andrew, we know what's going on with the financial system. It's messed up, okay? And they're trying to control it. It's never hit $50 before. And finally, we've been saying it's going to go through $50. Andrew and I have been on this podcast for 3-4 years, and everybody thought we were insane. And silver, because it's never in 1980 and in 2011, silver never even touched $50. And we said, oh, this time it's going to go through $50. And when it goes through, it's going to get really exciting. And we're 1,000% right on that. Point I'm trying to make, it's not a matter of being right. It's a matter of pointing people in the right direction. Okay, so now silver has broken vertical. It's through $66 as we speak. It's not even in the 50s anymore. It's about to go into the 70s. Okay, and the crazy part is, barely 1% of the population even understands how to get an ounce of silver. Andrew, this is crazy. We're about to embark, what have we said, on the greatest bull market in human history, but yet, mainstream media is not even talking about silver. You might see some analysts talk about it, but generally speaking, turn on the news, no one's talking about it. Okay? And all they're talking about is everything else but. So it's a wild time we're living in right now. So I'm actually really curious. So because you deal with the inventory side of it, what coins, what bars are available? Is there still a lot of availability? Is your pile, and your ability to order, is it shrinking? What's happening with your sales and getting more metal?
The inventory is shrinking. So I would say about 3 months ago, we had just an unbelievable amount of silver on hand. And now it's very difficult to get silver eagles in a sealed monster box. You can get as many as you want right now, just randomly. They're just rolls of 20, or you can get a box of 500, but a sealed monster box is very difficult right now because the 2025s are pretty much sold out unless a dealer has a few left over. And the 2026s will be available in about 30 to 40 days. So they're very, very difficult. Silver Philharmonics are tough to get right now. So this is a point of time where you want to get just any silver that you can get your hands on. So if you can get 10-ounce silver bars, 100-ounce silver bars, the 1-ounce silver rounds, 90% silver. Right now, we can offer people the 90% silver, which is referred to as junk silver, or the pre-1965 silver half dollars, quarters, and dimes that used to circulate in our change. You can get those at very, very close to what the spot price is. So there's some bargains to be had out there, but really, we've still not seen a billionaire come in and say, I want to buy $50 million worth of silver. When that happens, it wipes out all the available supply. Then we have my beach day, Bo, where I just tell all the sales guys, I'm like, hey, go home for the day, go to the beach, or check in with me around 1 o'clock, because I don't know what to sell anything for at the exact moment.
And that's the point that Andrew and I have been talking about. When this financial event happens, what happens is silver accelerates at a very fast rate. We're talking, these are high-speed computers, and we can see price acceleration. There is something that was written by the CME, I believe it was in 2011 or at least 10 or more years ago. And they're called breakers. And what they will do is, when silver runs more, that's right now we're approaching breakers. So they're actually having a very big issue right now, because when it goes above $3, they actually could shut down the trading for 5 minutes if it gets explosive. Okay. And so we literally saw a $3 move. Just as we jumped on the podcast, it was up $3 on the day. Okay, so we're at the $3 mark right now, and you're seeing how their breakers are trying to glitch the system and freeze the system up as it approaches that $3 barrier. Okay, and so if the bots and the computers, everybody suddenly goes long, they're literally going to have to shut down the trading, because they did that on Black Friday right after Thanksgiving for 8 hours, and they blame it on blah blah blah. Right? They're always going to blame it on something, but they shut down for 8 hours because silver was exploding in price. Okay, but this time around on these breakers, I believe they're 5-minute breakers, so we could see this happen where there's going to be jumping $3 increments every 5 minutes. We could actually see this because I believe this is what is about to happen here. So it's going to get really exciting as silver begins to break vertical. But this now creates a problem of sales. Okay. And why I say that is because, so Andrew, someone might reach out to Andrew or any other gold dealer and say, hey, I'd like to buy some silver. But as the phone rings and by the time you pick it up, it's moved up another $2 or $3 and it keeps exploding. So the problem is, like Andrew, I was texting and speaking with Andrew yesterday, and the prices, when they start jumping like that, you have to keep adjusting your prices. Okay. And so that's a big issue because you don't know what to sell it for. That's a big problem. And then the other issue, because there's a lot of dealers out there that are plugged in. So their websites are actually plugged in to a feed. And that feed is constantly feeding the price of silver or gold, and they do their sales off the feed. But if the price explodes suddenly and they're locking it up, that feed's going to get messed up, and they're going to shut that feed down. And which means that when the feed gets shut down, all the dealers across North America won't have a feed. And then feed basically mean a digital price that they can sell for. So suddenly everything shuts down. So Andrew, talk about how you're dealing with this right now. Just like between yesterday, we saw a $3 move. How are you dealing with this price, with this, these quick price moves? And again, we haven't even seen an explosion yet. Okay, we're just seeing the warm up to the explosion that's yet to come.
Oh yeah, I'm having to plug them in manually. So the entire sales staff has to rely on me heavily to be up to date on what all of the prices are at any given moment. Even in the 5 minutes before we started this interview, silver had dropped like 50 cents an ounce, and that has a direct effect on what we're selling the silver for at that moment. So I had to hurry up and plug in the changes. And sometimes I get busy for 5 or 10 minutes and the market could move up, and that means that the prices are supposed to go up, but then we're selling at a little bit of a lower rate. So it happens, unfortunately, sometimes, but we have to do it that way because the different premiums for different items can change from day to day. Like I had one of the wholesalers out there reach out to me a few months ago, and he said, hey, do you have any Canadian maple leafs? And I'm like, yeah, I have a few thousand of them. And he's like, I'll give you something like $4.75 per ounce over the spot price, which was a pretty high wholesale rate. So I'm just like, sure, you can take whatever I have. I marked them sold out and let him take them. And then I did some checking around after, and I could see that they were going for a little bit more. But it's like that was just an anomaly, and those happen all the time. So that's why we don't have the prices on the website, and that's so that we can give a more fair price to people when they do reach out to us.
See, the thing is, what Andrew and I are speaking of, the word is precious metals. They're precious. The name is there for a reason, because you can't click a button and make an ounce of silver or an ounce of gold. It doesn't work that way. There's a whole process of digging, refining, turning it into a coin. All of this takes time. There's so much money in the world right now. If one person steps up, like Andrew's saying, if a billionaire steps up, forget about it. Okay. If a billionaire, because a billionaire doesn't have 1 billion, usually have many. Okay. But if $1 billion just hit the market, forget about it. All above ground is gone. It's gone. And that's the point we've been screaming from the rooftops about. We are embarking. The world is embarking upon the biggest and the greatest bull market, meaning an upcycle in precious metals in human history, period. Okay, that's what's about to happen. And the final horse out of the gates was silver. It's now out of the gates. Okay, you're seeing in the past 12 months what silver can do. It's literally moved in 1 year. It's outperformed 2 years of gold's price movement. Let's repeat that. In 12 months, silver has outperformed gold's 2-year price movement. It caught up, has now outperformed what gold has done in the past 2 years. Why have we been so fixated on silver? Because we knew this day was coming, okay? And now it broke vertical. And remember, please, let's look at Andrew. After silver went through the last high was 2,000. It went through it. It went back down, and then it turned back up. And once it went back up, it worked its way up, but it never looked back to 2,000, did it? It never came back to 2,000. So silver's all-time high was 50. It went up to 50. It backed off just like gold did, and now that is back up through 50. Now it's into 60. Okay. Gold never looked back, and silver's never going to look back. So those that think that they've missed silver, oh no, no, you haven't seen anything yet. It's just about to explode. So that's what's about to happen right now. And that's what, with the urgency of always, saying, we're not telling you to buy silver. We're telling you that silver is going to go up incredibly in price because the financial system is a mess right now. All Andrew and I have always talked about is how much money they've been creating out of thin air. And as we speak right now, we continue to see silver just accelerating vertical. So, with all that said, Andrew, so we talk about precious metals. Can people still reach out to you? And how easy is it to get smaller orders or even bigger orders? Are bigger orders still fillable? And if they are, how long does it take? Maybe you can also make reference to 401ks and IRAs, because I know that's really important to people to understand. Your financial advisors talk about what they're pushing, and that's paper. So explain that, Andrew, and talk about the difference between paper and your 401k and a hard asset and your 401k.
Yeah, so just starting with the availability. Okay, for us, we have relationships with wholesalers and with other people in the coin business that span decades, and a lot of the other companies out there don't have that. A lot of the other companies that might advertise on Fox News or have pop-up banners on the internet, they have one or two wholesalers. So they're at the mercy of buying from that single wholesaler or two at the maximum. And that's how some of those other prices from some of the other companies get so high. So for us, we're able to source many different places on where we get the metals from. So we can usually fill most orders within about 48 to 72 hours. There are certain special orders that could take a couple of weeks. Like we have some people that want Peace silver dollars or Morgan silver dollars, and those are great. But if you're trying to get thousands of them, which a lot of people are, that can have like a 2 week lead time before we can actually ship it. But we always let people know up front, and as long as people know up front that there is that type of waiting time because it's back ordered, they're fine with it, and certainly great product to have. Now, as far as ways that you can invest in gold and silver, we're still accepting Bitcoin payments. So we do have people that can pay for gold and silver with Bitcoin. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, then you can certainly reach out to us through the online form. The other thing is it's the end of the year. This is a great time for you to take a look at your finances and see what your investments are doing, and make any changes that you need to make within your portfolio. It might make sense for you to reach out to us and find out just how simple it is to set up a precious metals IRA. I talk to people every single day that have doubled and tripled their money in gold and silver within their IRAs that did the rollovers into a precious metals IRA through us in the last 4.5 years. And it's just been an amazing thing, Bo. And I just wanted to say that it's not too late for people out there. If you've seen silver go up 135% this year, you might feel like you missed the boat. You've not missed it at all, because I did a calculation earlier, Bo, when you were talking. If you take a look at where silver is right now, it's like $66.50 an ounce. I've already stated it started off at $28.84 an ounce this year, which is a 135% gain. So it would be a pretty big stretch to say to say that silver is going to go up another 135% next year. But let's say that it went up half of that. What if it went up 67.5% this year? Okay, so you take, if it went up 67.5% in 2026, when it's currently at 66.50, so you would multiply that by 1.675, that's $111.38 an ounce. That's if silver only performed half of what it did this year. Silver would be $111 plus per ounce. And I think if you think that that's possible, then it's not too late for you. If gold were to just repeat what it did this year, it's up 60%. It's at 4,300 and change. If it did another 60%, it would be just shy of $7,000 for 1 ounce. These are exactly where big banks, big brokerage houses, and even us, we think that gold could actually hit 7,000 as early as next year or the year after. So you've not missed it.
go back to what Andrew and I have said for a long time, and I appreciate what Andrew's saying there, because you have to understand, okay, the bull market on precious metals, gold started it, silver is just breaking out. Okay. So to look at and say, my goodness, silver is now $66 an ounce. But then when it gets to $100, why didn't I pick it up at $66 an ounce? Right. And yeah, it's $66 an ounce right now, but it's still cheaper than buying an ounce of gold, which is $4,300 right now. And right now, like I've stated before, silver is now, because it's broken vertical and we're in a bull market officially, silver is now going to be outperforming the moves and the gains of gold. Okay, so a place to sit right now. Personally, I'm very happy that majority of what I've been doing over the past many years has been focusing on silver because I knew this day was coming. So, with all of that said, Andrew, if people do want to reach out, if they want to get some precious metals, because again, only 1 to 2% of the world actually knows how to get this stuff, okay? And it's sad. And I laugh because, when you go to school, they teach you all about finance, all about the digits. They teach you everything about money, but nothing about gold and silver. And that's intentional. Okay. Other nations, other countries, as Andrew stated, educate their populace on how to get precious metals. And actually there's even stores where you can walk in and they have 100%, 24 karat jewelry. You can't buy that here in America, in the States. That's unheard of. Right. And so understand that precious metals is something that most people. So don't feel bad if you're like, I don't even know how to get an ounce of silver or an ounce of gold. I have no clue. Understand that's why Andrew and I have been doing podcasts forever. At least you try to point you in the right direction. There's a lot of dealers out there. And the only thing I would say is, use a dealer because you never want to send money to anybody. This is important with anything, okay? Never send money to anybody you don't know, okay? And number two is, if you're going to send money, there's that lag time I always joke about. It's like when the money leaves your account and you have no gold or silver, you're in like a quandary of like, I sure hope it shows up soon, and that's the thing about Andrew, right? At least I can vouch for him. I've used him for many years now. And when a wire is sent to Andrew, I can vouch and tell you within a very short window, usually it's days, the metal arrives to where we want to store it. So, Andrew, in closing, tell people how they can find you and anything else that you wanted to add as well.
Yeah, please reach out to us on the website. It's right there on your screen, bh-pm.com. And that's it. There's a form right there. Just fill out that form. If it says, how did you hear about us? Just say, Bo Polny sent me, or Gold Forecast 2020. And in the notes section, be as detailed as you can. So if you're somebody that's been investing in gold and silver for years and don't really need a consultation, but would like to give us a chance to do business with you, then put that in there. We'll skip the consultation and just find out what it is that you normally invest in, and we'll just cut right to the chase. Other people need a little bit of hand holding, and we're happy to provide that. Most of the other shops out there that might be in your neighborhood, they don't take the time to do that. So for us, we're perfectly fine being the ones to educate you on precious metals. We've done that with so many people that have taken that leap of faith that Bo just described, and it's paid off well for them. Every single day, I hear testimonials directly from clients that have done well. One that I heard just yesterday, or like literally 24 hours ago, he said, "Hey, do you remember when I met you about 3 years ago in Nashville?" He said, "Do you remember what my goal was?" And I said, "Hey, I believe your goal was to build your dream home, and that you just need a little bit more to get there, and that you were using precious metals to not only protect what you had, but to be able to build on that." And I think it happened a little ahead of schedule. And he said, "It sure has." He's like, "I've made the purchase and we're getting ready to break ground." And he said, "Thank you, sir." And I've heard so many stories like that, and it's really great. This is somebody I had the pleasure of meeting face to face one time, but we've talked on the phone many times, not just about gold and silver, but about life and family. He's met members of my family as well, and it's just a really great thing. So we're not just people out there just peddling gold and silver. We're out there just trying to educate people on how this helps you, and this isn't a high pressure deal. So reach out to us and give us a chance to help you the way that we've helped thousands of others.
I think you nailed it right there. We want people to understand you can't create money out of thin air. That's what they've been doing. You can't create money out of thin air and have the world believe that all the world's not smoke and mirrors. Okay. You cannot make money out of thin air. At some point, it's going to get exposed that this has been one heck of a big lie. And the greatest night you'll ever have, and many people have said this to us, the greatest night you'll ever have is when your first shipment of silver or gold arrives. And you're like, my goodness, I just bought insurance. What I personally know is going to happen in the future based on prophecy and scriptures is we're going to have an incredible wealth transfer, and it's going to be the greatest financial transfer and event in human history. So, Andrew, wrap us up, and thank you so much for being here.
Well, I hope to hear from as many people as possible. It's we are going to be open through the holiday season. There will be a couple days where we're not. So definitely reach out to us. If you fill out the form, we'll get back with you within about 24 hours. If we're unable to, because it's a holiday, you'll most likely get a text saying, hey, let's connect in the next day or two when you do have a moment to be able to speak with us. And it really is an important time because the first of the year, we're almost in 2026 here. The year's just going to blow past us again, just like 2025 did. So let's get your finances in order and take a look and see if precious metals are a good move for you.
Thank you, Andrew. God bless you and your family, and have a wonderful Christmas with your family.
Beverly Hills Precious Metals Exchange is a client-focused firm devoted to assisting our clients with precious metals. Our clients range from first-time to serious coin collectors and investors seeking to add precious metals to their investment portfolios. We are not interested in volatile investments, leveraged products, and intangible assets. With rising inflation and the devaluing of the dollar hurting middle-class families, investing in gold and silver ensures protection for your hard-earned money. Save the value of your money today by investing in gold and silver at Beverly Hills Precious Metals.